You guys are going to want to stick around and hang out, and so we totally anticipate that. We will leave you alone soon. We have a couple more things that we want to encourage you in, and one is just we're going to get now like very practical, kind of landing this plane at the end here, and thinking about what does it look like for our life groups at our local church to be like sustainable over the long term. And one of those things that it takes to be sustainable over the long term is having support systems in place. So look around you for a moment. If anybody's wearing a life group leader lanyard and they're a life group leader, I want you to think these are your support people. Like, these are people you can call. If something's going down in your life group and you don't know what to do, you can call another life group leader. Like, grab their number, connect with them at some level. We talked about friendships. You're going to need that. You're going to have moments where, like, life group leadership is hard and difficult to continue in leadership. And so what I don't want is for, like, to get, like, 50,000 emails, you know, to me directly. Like, I don't want to be the bottleneck in the way of you being supported. I want you to be supporting one another and upholding one another, both in prayer, but also just practically in going to that other person. So think for a moment about a person you feel like leads a life group maybe more effectively than you do. Maybe has a gift in a particular way. And think about maybe connecting with them and grabbing coffee with them and saying, hey, like, I've noticed you do this in your relationships in general, and I bet you do that in your life group. Could you just like tell me what your thought process is in that? And that would be like 100% better than sitting with me, who's just one life group leader, and saying like, how do you do it in your life group? What's like your template? Like, that's not what the template needs to be for every single group, right? So I want you to know that I'm not here to support you. I'm just kidding. I'm 100%, sorry. You're going to have to get to know my sarcasm as well. I'm 100% here to support you, but I want you to support one another. So I want to introduce one more, or actually three more people, to you guys. I'm going to invite Lauren up. So Lauren is my wife of 12 years and my spouse in co-leading life groups. I don't even know if that's a proper way to say that. Do you feel comfortable with that title? I don't know. She's just going to introduce herself and speak to the wives for just a moment.
Hey. I am just excited to be partnering with Trent in this new role. I know that many of your hearts, as wives partnering with your husbands, I know that many of your hearts are to partner with your husband in this ministry and to be doing life groups with them. And I know that also comes with burdens, like Jason explained and described. You're laying your life down, and that's hard. And there's deep joy in that, but I and Nicole and I serve on the women's ministry team, and we just want to make ourselves available to the women who are serving in life group capacities. We want to be available to pray for you, resource to you, to encourage you, and if there's any way that I can be a means of pointing you to Christ as you're laying down your life and serving the members of your life group, I am available, and I'm happy to do that. So if you're not going to send Trent 50,000 emails, send me an email or call me or whatever it might be. I'm happy to do that. Trent is happy to do that too. Just poking fun. So if you're here to join a life group or to participate in one, I'm really excited that you're here, and I pray that participation in life group is just rich and deep and a means of growing closer to Jesus. So thanks for being here, and that's all I got. I think Nicole's up next.
Awesome. I'll let you do that. Yeah, Nicole's up in just a second. Go ahead. Yeah, you're good. The second person that I want to introduce to you, who's also just like a support person. Oh man, he's already up here, dude. He's just sitting here. There he is. He's like on time. Brian has been sort of a life group leader coach in the past, and he's encouraged you. I know he met up with you guys as life group leaders just a few months ago. He's a good guy to go to. On Sunday mornings, you'll see him just, I don't want to say networking like a madman, but he does that. And anyways, I'm not going to say anything else.
Friends, can we get a big round of applause for Trent putting this whole thing together? I absolutely knew this night was going to rock when Trent started off by saying we were starting in heaven, in the throne room of God. Practically speaking, Trent and I usually come at ministry from a different perspective. He's in heaven with the seraphim. I'm with the Ninja Turtles in the sewer, keeping it very practical. I am Brian Bauman. My wife's back here in the pink. She is Rebecca Bauman, both beautiful and talented. Love you, babe. So three quick things. I want to talk to those of you who are life group leaders, those of you who are here checking out life groups, and a quick message to everyone who's not here, okay? So we will carry that message to them. So, life group leaders, keep your chins up, keep your ears open, and a smile on your face. Keep your chin up because being a life group leader is hard. C.S. Lewis said that if you could see your glorified body, you would, what did he say? You would fall on your face? He also said, he just edited this part out later, he said, if you could see the crud you'd put up with as a life group leader, you'd quit and not do life groups. So that's something that you'll face, is difficult things within your life groups each year. I'm telling you, I love life groups. We love hosting a life group. And I actually wrote a draft sitting in my email still telling our life group, we're not going to lead or host this year. I've copied Trent and Nicole. Contact them and find a group, right? Because we all go through ups and downs. So what Trent said about reaching out to each other is true. It's tough. So that's why the second thing is here. Keep your ears open. Listen to what other leaders say. Bounce ideas off them. But part of that is being willing to take correction. As we grow as life group leaders, we're going to hear hard things. Hopefully Trent in the future and other leaders will approach us and say, hey, I'm getting feedback about this. Tons of strengths here, maybe some areas to grow. Being a leader involves growing. It also involves encouraging people. When we keep a smile on our face, it involves saying the right things to people who are looking to connect. We want community. We want people to connect with the body of Christ, but that's hard. And to be honest, we are hitting a point where we have so many people that we probably will have a lot of your groups at capacity, right? I know some of you groups are already full. Any head nods for full groups out there? Okay, I'm seeing a few of those. We never tell people we don't have room for you. But we do tell people, I'm looking forward to you finding the right group. Unfortunately, our group's at capacity right now. Let's get you connected with the church office. For those of you, and that's important because I've literally had people say, my wife broke down in tears after coming to a leader that she respected and being told, we don't have room for you. It's crushing to some people. Some people it doesn't matter, but some people it does. If you're looking for a group, please be patient. Be patient with Nicole and with Trent because there's so many people right now. You might find that a few of the groups you want to join are full. I mean, at capacity, right? So that can happen. It might happen. And so that's why we have number 3, which is the message that goes to the entire church. Spread the word that we need to be patient with life groups right now. We have just more people than we do life groups. In a growing area like this, in a growing church body, that's going to be the reality. So tell people, hey, the church is working as hard as they can to find as many leaders as they can. But for the time being, we're going to struggle to work our way through that. Lastly, if you know people in your group that you think can help, it would be a huge blessing to just shoot Trent a quick, I'm signing you up for this, shoot him even a quick email saying, hey, so-and-so in my group's an awesome person. They really walk with the Lord. They shepherd people. Here's a list of the things they do well. Even if that person's not a leader, you're prayerfully considering them as someone who could lead or co-lead or host, and they're on Trent's radar. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything else or just hand you back the mic. Are we good? Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. So last but not least, we're going to have Nicole come up and just explain now getting super practical, which is the world that Nicole lives in all the time. And she is an incredible, multifaceted manager of so many details. It's like unbelievable. Her brain's kind of like a computer. So we have a shared Dropbox folder in which she can actually go through in her brain and find folders by going through each one and find where a file is in her own mind. It is incredible. I can't do that. I don't do that. She's going to kind of explain. I want you guys to go ahead and grab your phones if you brought your phones and take those out. And I want you to ask the question in your heart and in your mind about your phone, do I have the Church Center app? And if you don't have the Church Center app, I want you to take a moment just with the Lord, just between you and the Lord. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to invite Nicole up to explain a few more things.
Okay, so we're going to talk about sustainability and staying connected, and good communication is one of the best ways to do that. So we use this app for a ton of stuff, and I know it's technology and it can be glitchy, and but it's what we use. And it helps ministry happen easier. So, don't go to that one quite yet. First, I just wanted to talk to leaders for a second, just about communication in general, because as you manage your groups, it's such a bummer because you can't manage your group on the app. So when you get out your phone and you look at your app, you have to manage your group here. So if you want to take a quick snapshot of this, it is the back end of your group, and that's what we are asking you as leaders to kind of pay attention to. All of our groups have different dynamics and flavors, and you can represent yourself here. You can own your own group, put your own picture, your date, time, place, and then keep your members updated. That is really helpful for Trent. And this is one of the questions I get asked all the time. If someone's in my group and I need to remove them and I go to push that red X, are they going to get an email saying that I did that? You have the opportunity to say no. So you're not going to be sending those emails. Yeah, and this system we can't do much about. So yeah, there are changes sometimes that surprise. Oh, that's probably why they changed it. Also, when just in a minute, when everybody's going to get to the app at your table and look at the groups, when someone clicks request to join or contact you as a leader, you're going to get an email. You can talk back and forth with those people. If they end up coming to your group and staying, then you go back to the back end and they'll already be on there, and you can just add them or not add them to your group. So that's a helpful also. If you just meet them in person, you can search and add for them as well. And just know that I'm always available in the office. There's 2 other ladies that are pretty nice. Natalie's right here, and they're somewhat helpful sometimes. And so just call anytime. This kind of stuff I know is the not fun stuff. So please give us a call. We would love to help you with all this kind of stuff. And just, there's a lot we don't see. There's a lot that the elders don't see and the staff doesn't see, and that's happening in your life group as you care for each other. When babies are born, or illnesses, surgeries, loss of a family member, those kind of things are so important, and a lot of that stuff just happens in your life group. So thank you for leading those. And there are some things that are really helpful if the information does get back to us. And that is, one of the things is like financial needs. We have an abundant benevolent offering fund, and it's a hard ask. So you as leaders have an opportunity to help those in your group by either sending them to Trent or myself, any of the elders, and just kind of help them ask that question, because we'd love to help in that way. Another is we're at the size where a lot of people are in and out. And so if someone comes and then they end up leaving and going to a different church or moving away, most of the time they actually don't tell us they're doing that. And so there's the practical side of just bookkeeping, but then there might need to be some relational follow-up that the elders might want to do. So those kind of things, just continue to let Trent know. And then lastly, sometimes, and this has already been touched on a few times, but sometimes life is hard, and it gets really, really difficult, and it gets really, really big. And if it feels too big, this has been offered all the pastors, counseling team, please reach out. We want to support you as leaders, and we want to support you as individuals too. So just know that. You can always call the office. And now we'll get nitty-gritty, practical, down to like 100 feet. So this is where we will go. Now, in just a minute, we're going to have some discussion questions, but the app on your phone looks a little different than the app online, and to be honest, the computer version is a lot more user-friendly. You can see a lot more information. So this is what that looks like, and when you go there, you can actually access a map, and this is just really handy. So I'm going to leave this on the screen, And the next group of questions are up here, and so we can just take the next little bit